Harold and Humberto, welcome.
Hi,
Uh,
teacher. How are
Oh,
you?
thank you.
nice to see you
How are
both.
you?
Very good. How are you guys today?
Fine, thanks.
Yeah,
Good. Remind me where you guys are from. Harold, you're from? Is it
Colombia.
Colombia? Ah,
Yeah.
I got it right. And then Humberto, you're from?
I'm from Peru.
I was gonna say Chile, but I was wrong. Okay, you're Peru. Okay, I knew it
Peru.
was not. I knew it wasn't Brazil, and I knew it wasn't Colombia. So at least I didn't get those two. So
Well, Chile.
Peru,
Yeah.
yeah, so Peru and Colombia. All right. So is it summertime down in your part of the world?
Yes, yes. Here is summertime.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the weather's really nice
Yes,
and
yes. The weather is wonderful.
mhm.
It's a lot of hot in here.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Also, you can go on weekends to the beach if you
Uh-huh.
want.
Okay.
And
Excellent.
Um, here in Peru, we have the best ways of uh, South America. So if you like surf, you can catch wave here.
Mhm. Okay. Excellent. All right. Hello, Anna Paula. Welcome. How are you today?
Hi, Holly. I'm very nice. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. And you're from Brazil, right? And then Wellington. Yeah, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you, Holly?
Very good. And you're also from Brazil, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And Marianne, welcome.
Hey, thank you. Hello.
Hi. Remind me where you're from. Is it Colombia?
I'm from
Oh, I
Colombia.
got it right. Yeah, right. I've only gotten one wrong so far. And Carvalho, you are from Brazil, right?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so far, Humberto, you're the only one I've got wrong. But next time, I promise I will get your country right. so so welcome everybody. In this class, we will talk about
Don't
culture
worry.
shock. So thank you, Humberto, for understanding. So yeah, so this should be a fun class, just because we can talk about different cultures and that while you are practicing English. So first of all, we'll be doing some vocabulary and some reading and discussion. So that is what we will be doing today. So the first question I have for everybody is, have you ever spent any
Please,
time in another country? So,
please.
Anna Paula, what is the longest time that you have spent in another country?
Um, I spent in one year in Montreal, in
One
Canada.
year in Canada. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Was that when you were studying, or was that recently, or?
Yes, I went to study and work as well because I was like working like a postdoc position.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Carvalho, how about you? What is the longest time you have spent in another country?
Teacher, unfortunately, I didn't. I I've never done that.
Okay, so unfortunately, right now, I have never spent any time in another country, but that isn't. You will probably have opportunities. Let's hope in the future, right?
Yes, teacher, I would
Yeah,
like
that
to
is
do
the
that.
plan. Awesome. Okay, all right. And so, Harold, how about you? What is the longest you have ever spent in another country?
Well, I don't remember clearly,
Uh huh.
but I went to the United States for 2 weeks. I was only 10 years old, so
Ah.
I don't remember very well, but it was the longest time that I have spent in another country.
And it was a long time ago. So All
Yeah.
right. All right. Where do you remember where you were in the US?
Yeah, I work in New York,
Uh-huh.
Manhattan, because I
Okay.
have an aunt that is living there.
Oh, so okay, so instead of I were, you would say I was. I was in
Yeah,
Manhattan, New
yeah.
York. Okay, awesome.
Okay, yeah.
All right, Humberto, how about you? What is the longest time you have spent in another country?
The longest time was a year and a half, and it was in Miami, Florida.
Florida. Okay.
But
Yeah.
I was a yeah, but
Are
I
you
was a
young?
little kid.
Yeah. And do you remember
Yeah,
very much about it?
yeah. Of course, I remember many.
Uh-huh.
Uh, um,
Okay. Now, I've heard that in Florida
yes,
you can actually go through life without actually speaking English. Is that
yeah.
true?
It's hard to. Um, well, it's for me. It was hard to learn English because in Florida,
They speak
Spanish
Spanish.
Yeah.
they all speak Spanish,
Uh-huh.
and if you want to try to speak English, they answer you in Spanish, so
Uh-huh.
it was kind of hard to speak mainly English there.
Uh-huh.
But it was
I
cool. I like Miami.
uh-huh.
Also, yes. Also, I went like 3 months ago
Uh-huh.
to visit my family.
Okay. Yeah, I've actually heard that well, of course, I've experienced that when I was in Korea and when I was in Finland. I would try to speak the local language and what I knew of it, and they would always respond to me in English. So, and the
Yeah.
reason was because my accent was so bad, or they wanted to practice English or whatever. So, Marianne, what is the longest you have spent in another country?
The longest time has that I have spent in another country was so far 3 months.
3 months. Okay, what country was it?
But it's Switzerland.
Switzerland. Okay, and
Hmm.
is that where you are now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But it's quite late there. But it's Friday too, so
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. And then we have somebody who just arrived. Sergio, welcome. Sergio, what is the longest you have spent in another country?
Hi, honey. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, it was in US.
It, it was.
Yeah.
Hello.
Um, and, for
Okay, unfortunately, the only thing I've been able to hear is "Can you hear me?" I can't hear anything else. Um, Unfortunately, Sergio, it sounds like it's an internet issue, a bandwidth type issue, but I'm not sure. So, Wellington, how about you? What is the longest time you have spent in another country?
Was in 2012. I spent 16 days United
Hmm.
States.
Okay, where in the U.S.?
Yeah, I was to New York and San Francisco.
Okay, New York and San Francisco.
Yeah,
Wow. Did you
yeah,
fly between?
yes.
Okay. Okay.
A,
All
a
right.
long fly,
Uh-huh.
6 hours.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Sergio, until we can get your speaking fixed, one thing that you can do is write in the text chat. That's what this one of the students does. He comes in from work and he can't speak, so he just writes everything. So you're welcome to do that if you'd like. So, okay. So for me, the longest I have lived abroad was 11 years when I lived in Finland. Um, and then, but I did come back to the States periodically for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. So every once in a while. I think the longest I was actually away from the States when I was in Finland was almost 4 years, and I just never had the money um, to travel home. I couldn't afford it, so I just didn't go home. So, all right. So, how did you feel when you were there? Were you homesick? So, Wellington, when you were in the States for the 16 days, were you homesick?
No, no. I think homesick is to people that spend more than 1 or 2 months. For me, it was a pleasure.
Okay. All right. And Marianne, how about you? Were you homesick? Or have you
No,
been homesick?
not yet.
Not yet. Oh, really? Okay. Awesome.
No.
That's great. 3 months and not homesick. That's good. Of course, you are in Switzerland too. So, Umberto, when you were in Florida, were you homesick? Did you ever get homesick? Okay, maybe he's having problems. Umberto? Okay, Harold, how about you?
Well,
Did you get homesick?
I think that I was happy because it was my first vacation on the United States, so I suppose that I was very happy and I wasn't homesick. I,
Okay. Yeah, because that's because you were quite small as well, so you had your family with you, right?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Um, and Carvalho, you haven't traveled abroad, but have you ever been homesick? Have you ever been somewhere where you have been homesick?
Teacher, I don't think so because I'm living by myself a long time, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to stay alone.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. And Anna Paula, how about you? Did you get homesick when you were in Montreal?
Yeah, Holly. The first time I went to Montreal, it was on I went to live there. So in this case, I homesick
Uh-huh.
because
I was homesick.
I was homesick because I miss my city, my activities, my friends, and especially because that time it was the winter during the winter, and
Mm-hmm.
it was very hard for me because I live here in Brazil in a place in the region that northeast of Brazil. And
Mm-hmm.
in that time, I never been snow. It
Mm-hmm.
was shock, a really shock for me. And then, but after 1 or 2 months, I was very adapted, and
Mm-hmm.
I was happy. And,
Mm-hmm.
and another difficulty it was the people because I think that during the winter in Canada the people is very sad and they
Mm-hmm.
are very introspective and
Mm-hmm.
then it was very difficult for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And Ana Paula, what you described is very similar to my experience, just a little bit when it comes to the people who were introspective. Because when I was in Finland, people were. It's a very isolating place for foreigners.
Uh-huh.
Um, and people, especially in the wintertime, people just stay at home and things like that, so it's very isolating. But for me, my biggest time to be homesick was my first year abroad when I was living in South Korea.
Uh-huh.
And South Korea was so different.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
different. Yeah. So when I would get homesick, one of my strategies was it's kind of funny now, but one of my strategies was that I would go to McDonald's or
Wow.
I would go to Pizza Hut. And
Sure.
where they would have a Western toilet, and just based on that, I would feel
And
um,
how long
feel at
is
home, so I would feel less homesick. Does any Ana Paolo, did you have any strategies when you were homesick?
um um normally I walking, and
Mm-hmm.
because I for me it's very the snow is very beautiful, and
Uh-huh.
I visit some place in especially stores, shopping, pubs, even if I was there alone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you would go check things out. Okay. Um, all right, Marianne, in Switzerland, do you have a strategy for the first time when you start feeling homesick? What do you think you will do? Do you have any plans? Any strategy?
I think I will try to do some activities with my Colombian friends here
Mm-hmm.
in
Okay.
order to feel like at home.
Mm-hmm.
But right
Yeah.
now, I'm in this period that I want to learn about this new country, new food, new
Mm-hmm.
places.
Okay.
So,
Excellent.
mhm.
Yeah. Well, there's two strategies. One is to be around people that are close to your home. The other one is to do something for you. It'd be very, very Swiss. Go and do something that you can't do at home. That's another strategy. So,
Okay.
all right. Let's look at the vocabulary here. We have. Let's match the word and phrases with the correct meaning. We have culture shock, honeymoon, persevere, embrace, resentment, and Britain. So. Wellington, can you read letter A and match that?
Negative feelings towards something. Negative feelings is towards something. Honeymoon, Britain, um, resentment.
Yes. Negative feelings towards something would be resentment. Perfect.
Yeah, but in Portuguese, the meaning is not negative feelings.
Oh yeah? What is
It's,
it? What
uh,
what is it?
it's like boring to someone, not negative feelings.
Oh wow. Well,
Yes.
and in English we have the verb to resent. And resent is when if you start resenting somebody, you you start hating different things that they do, and it happens um, a lot of times just between couples, you
Okay.
know. So
Mhm.
yeah, so in English it's a very negative feeling towards someone. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Excellent. And Sergio, can you speak yet? Okay, apparently not. Okay. Harold, can you read letter B
To accept positively. Uh,
positively? To accept,
positively.
yeah, to accept positively. Yes.
Um, persevere.
No, persevere means to go forth even though you're struggling.
So I will say embrace.
No, yeah, embrace. Yes, embrace is to accept positively. Exactly. Yeah, embrace is accept positively. So if you, for example, one thing that's really important to do when you're in another country is to embrace the culture that you're in. Which is
Mm,
what, like Marianne right now is in Switzerland, and it sounds like that's what she's doing, right? Marianne, you are embracing the Swiss culture.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, letter C, Carvalho.
Okay, teacher. Feelings of unhappiness after moving to a new country. Mm, Race. Teacher, culture shock?
Know what? Letter C is culture shock. Yes, letter C
Okay.
is culture shock. Yeah, and what it is even though you were really excited about going to the country or whatever, but all of a sudden you realize that you're not at home anymore. It's a really weird feeling, and the one that is more weird is when you go through. Has anybody ever heard of reverse culture shock?
Reverse culture shock.
Yeah. So that's when you have the same feelings only about your own country. So reverse culture shock is when you go through similar feelings when you go back to your own country, and you are like, is it like this? Really? So Anna Paula, when you were in Montreal and you came back to the States, to not the States, went back to Brazil, did you experience reverse culture shock?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
And did you know about it before you experienced it?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I think you know that, or at least you imagine that the culture in Brazil and Montreal or US are very different.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then in Montreal, Canada, or many countries in Europe or US, the people are the education is very good. The people are very friendly, and
Mhm.
this country there aren't dangers, and
Mhm.
and the respect is it's very important for this country, of course.
Mhm.
Here in Brazil, we have a problem with this. For example, I remember when I lived in Canada or in US, because I spent some days in US as
Uh-huh.
well. And then when I walk in during at night, and and I was not afraid when
Mhm.
I was with my bag, because here in Brazil it's so different, and
Mm.
we can walk in on the street. It's not too safe, and then I was all the time afraid when I walk on the streets.
Or
You know,
in Brazil.
in Brazil, yeah,
Oh,
it's a
wow.
it's a bit, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, because it's a real thing. So expect that, Marianne, when you go back to Colombia to be surprised. So
Yeah, for
I
sure.
went through reverse culture shock for 3 years after I returned to the States.
Great.
So okay, letter D. Ana Paula, can you read that and match that?
Letter B or C?
D.
C. A person from the UK is Briton.
Yes, a Britain. Britain is Britain. Okay, and letter E. Wellington. Can you read that?
Letter E in a holiday taking after a wedding, honeymoon.
Honeymoon. Yes. Okay, and then Marianne. Letter F.
To continue to try to do something. Persevere.
Persevere. Yeah. So if you persevere, it's like if something is very difficult and you decide that you are going to just try to carry on, then you are persevering. So, okay. All right. So, uh, Wellington,
Yeah.
have you ever embraced a culture or a hobby or anything like that?
Oh yeah, all the time. I think now, for example, I am embracing the English.
Embracing the English, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, because I am studying a lot and I want
Uh-huh.
to improve my English
Uh-huh.
and to now from May, June, I will go to again to United States. So
Mm.
I need I want to that my English will be better
Mm-hmm.
for I
For
uh,
what? For me to be successful.
yeah, yes, for
Mm-hmm.
me to be yes to be successful, yes.
Okay, excellent. All right.
Mhm.
Um, Sergio, can you speak yet? Hello, Sergio. Apparently not. Okay. Harold. No, we're going to go with Marianne. Marianne, um, do you feel like your time so far in Switzerland has been like a honeymoon, like it's the first part of your life, first part of the trip?
Yes,
Hmm.
definitely yes.
Yeah,
I,
yeah, and we'll read this in the reading, but it's called a honeymoon period.
honeymoon
Honeymoon period when you're in
period.
when you're living in a country and the first part when everything is so new and so cool, you call it the honeymoon period.
Even
So,
enjoying the cold season.
you're really even the cold area, cold section.
Hmm.
That's great. So, okay, Harold, uh, can you think of something that you have had to persevere through?
Let me think. Well, I think that this is learn English is a challenge for
Mm-hmm.
me. So sometimes I have doubt that
Thought?
yeah, that I can't improve it.
Mm.
But so I have to persevere, try to get a better vocabulary, better pronunciation,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I think I am persevering now.
Perfect. That's a great example. Okay. And Carvalho, um, the word resentment. Have you ever felt resentment towards something or someone?
Yes, teacher. Every time someone do some wrong thing, I
Hmm.
can feel this kind of feeling.
Uh-huh. And how do you confront it? Do you say something to the person or do you just decide it's not worth it after a while?
Teacher, I prefer to stay quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to discourse.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, thank you very much. And then Ana Paula, we've already talked about culture shock. Um, uh, when you were in Canada, how long was your honeymoon period?
Um, Actually, Holly, for me, I think it was the honeymoon. It was not the first feeling. Uh,
Mm,
during the first month or first and second month, for me it was hard, and
mm-hmm,
my feeling was to come back to going back to Brazil.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
When I was there, I thought because I was there because it was important for me for my career, you know. And then when I was adapted to the country, people, and the weather, and then I was become happy.
okay.
So for me, the honeymoon during
Uh-huh.
during in Canada at least 10 months
Okay,
until I come back to Brazil.
okay. So it's funny because what you described was how I was in Korea. I did not go through a honeymoon period.
No.
I did. I went. The first month I was wanting to go home very, very badly, and I did go through a honeymoon period, but it was probably about 6 or 7 months later. So, but I just decided to persevere. So, Sergio, can you speak yet? Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's read the following text, and if you guys could write down any words that you do not know, then we can discuss them. Okay, so Wellington, can you read the first paragraph?
Okay. And so you decided to move to a different country. You say goodbye to your family and friends. Get on an airplane and arrived in your new home nation. All paragraph? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything is fantastic. It's all so new and exciting. However, after a few weeks, you feel that something isn't right. You're not happy after all, and are thinking about packing up and going home. What's gone wrong?
Very good, very good. And I remember fantastic. We wouldn't say fantastico. Fantastic. That's how you pronounce it. Okay. All right. Marianne, can you read the next one?
Me?
Polly, excuse me.
Yeah.
Could you explain me what is packing up?
Packing up. Okay. See, packing up, you're thinking about packing up and going home. So packing up is a phrasal verb, as you know, and to pack up means to put all of your things in your suitcase.
Right.
Yeah, so just grabbing your things and going home. So that's what that is. Very good. Thank you, Anna Pello. Is there any other words in here that you guys do not know? All right. And Sergio, can you speak yet?
I think so now.
Oh yes, awesome! Welcome, welcome.
When I saw the word perceiver, I have to do that now.
And you did, and I was really impressed. And every once in a while, you have somebody that perseveres and they're finally able to speak. You know, because it depends on there's all kinds of variables. So anyway, Sergio, can you read the second paragraph, starting with "Don't worry"?
Okay, don't worry, I'm here. Okay. Don't worry, psychologists use the term cultural shock to describe these feelings. Cultural shock happens when people leave a home environment and move to places that are very different. Loneliness, resentment, helplessness, rejection, and low self-confidence. And low self-confidence. These are all common emotions that people feel. Feelings as life in the new country becomes more familiar and the culture is embraced.
Okay. All right. And remember, Sergio, not to try not to drop the S's. Okay, when you like move to places that are very different, loneliness, helplessness. So remember to pronounce all the S's. Okay, thank you. Are there any words or phrases in here that you guys do not know?
Yeah.
Okay, what word? Any words or phrases? Okay. Let's go to the next one. Marianne, can you read this in the 4 stages then?
Okay. Psychologists have described 4 stages of culture shock. These are: first, the honeymoon period, life in new country, seems great. 2. The rejection period. The excitement wears off. Negative feelings and depressions begin. Third, the adjustment period. Life in new country becomes more normal. Fourth, the acceptance period. Adjustment to the new culture is complete, and happiness returns.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. And remember, you too as well. Could you read this word right here?
Holly, I'm sorry. Sorry. I'd
Okay.
like to know if wears off is the same of go away.
Yes, wears off is the same as go away.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
And
Good.
also, everyone, make sure that it's 4 stages.
Stages.
Stages, yeah. So yeah, if something wears off, it goes away. So thank you, very good, Ana Paolo.
Okay.
All right, so right now, Marianne, you are in the honeymoon period.
Yeah.
And one thing about this kind of period is this kind of these stages. You might be through the honeymoon period, and then you'll go through these periods, and then you'll go back to the honeymoon period, and through the whole time that you're abroad, you might go through this every once in a while. When I started out, actually, when I went to Korea, I started out with the rejection period, then the adjustment period, the acceptance period, then I went through the honeymoon period, and then I don't think I ever went back through the rejection period, though. But the honeymoon period for me was at the end in Korea. So in Finland, it was not. All right. Harold, could you read the next paragraph?
Okay. Jenny Thorpe, who moved from the US to Japan 5 years ago, said, although it was brilliant at first, I soon started to feel that I had made a terrible mistake. I missed people, food, and shops from home, and I felt terribly unhappy. After a while, though, I got used to life in Japan. Perseverance was important. I don't really think about the cultural differences anymore.
Perfect. Thank you. So, next and Carvalho, can you read the next one?
Okay, some people, however, don't last this long. Britton Jean Schifrin moved to Peru, but returned home after only a month as a result of depression. He believes culture shock is to blame. I didn't recognize what was happening at the time. Now I know that if I had stayed longer, the depression would eventually have gone away.
Yes. So he returned instead of returned. He returned home. So remember the ed. Sometimes you do not pronounce the e. Okay. All right. Ana Paolo, can you read the last paragraph?
Yeah. To beat culture shock, physiologists recommend taking regular exercise, learning the local language, setting targets, being patient, and asking for help if the negative feelings become too much. Many people find, however, that once they have adapted to life in a new country, reverse culture shock can happen when they return home. It seems that there is no easy way to beat the feelings of culture shock after all.
Yeah. For me, when I came back to the States after living in Finland for 11 years, I
Uh-huh.
went through reverse culture shock for 3 years.
Ah,
And
really?
three
Wow.
years, and it truly was all of these things. There were things about the U.S. Because I had moved in 1999,
Uh-huh.
and then 911 happened.
Uh,
After that, the way the Americans thought about things changed just slightly, and there was a lot of things that I just didn't understand. I was like, what? Why are people worried about this? Why is this a big issue? And it had become very European. So.
And how long did you live there?
I lived in Finland for 11 years.
Wow.
So I've been back from Finland almost about 5.5 years now. So it took about 3 years, and so, all right. Are there any other words or phrases in here that you guys do not know?
For me, no.
Okay, everything's fine with everybody. Okay, all right. Where are we for time? Okay. So let's look at these abstract nouns. Let's complete the table with abstract nouns from the article. So we have happy and happiness. Reject? What would that be? Does anybody know that one? Reject would be okay.
Rejectment?
No, it wouldn't be reject. No. Rejection. Okay. Rejection. Okay. Helpless. Does anybody remember that one?
Helplessness.
Yes. Helplessness. Okay. Adjust.
Adjustment.
Adjustment, yes. Okay, self-confident.
Self-confident.
Self-confident. I think I'm checking that one. I'm like going, what? How would that be different? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. It's for this one it's self-confidence. So if you're self-confident, then there's of course self-confidence. Okay, resentment. Perfect. Okay, depressed. Yes, depression. Okay, persevere.
Perseverance.
Perseverance, yes. Lonely.
Loneliness.
Okay, yeah, okay. Loneliness, and then acceptance. Okay, so let's practice using some of these words. Okay, so Harold.
Yeah. Are you there, teacher?
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I hear you.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, I can't. Can somebody speak?
Sí, yes.
Are you there?
Teacher.
Wellington, can you speak?
Okay.
Yeah, we are talking
I
to.
can't hear anybody.
Okay.
Okay.
You are infected. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
Just kidding.
Paul is gone.
Sorry?
Holly, where's Holly?
Oh no.
He left us.
Yeah, but she's back on.
I don't have mixed. Oh no. Teacher.
Ana Paula,
Yeah.
did you like Canada?
Oh, Wellington, I love Canada. It's a very nice place to live and to visit. It's very nice. I love Canada.
What is the city that you live?
I lived in Montreal,
Hmm.
but
Which
Montreal.
university?
yes, I studied and I worked in McGill University in Mariana. How can I pronounce your name? Mariana? Oh,
Marianne. Uh-huh.
Mariana. Yes, I worked at McGill University.
Okay. How
Yeah.
long?
Sorry?
How long?
I worked there just 1 year, Marianne, but I'm
Hmm.
going to Montreal, especially to McGill,
Mm-hmm.
once a year.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, every year I'm going there.
And this is the English part, or where do you
Yeah,
speak? Okay.
where I lived, it is a small city in
Mm-hmm.
the middle of the island. That is called it's Santan de Bellevue.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's a French name,
Mm-hmm.
but the city the city is the people speak English, and
Okay.
McGill University, the majority of the people speak English.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
Welcome,
you're welcome.
teacher.
Thank you. Yeah. All of a sudden I had a hardware failure and I was like, what's going on? And it had to do with my USB drive and I just bought a cordless microphone and headset and I think that's something happened there. I'm not sure what it was, but it was like strange. So
Oh,
anyway,
you,
yes. Excuse me?
we missed you.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
I know.
Thank you very much. I was all worried. I was like, and my mouse stopped working. Everything in that USB drive stopped working. I'm like, what? What? So, okay. So anyway, yeah, but were you guys teasing Sergio that I caught the Sergio virus? Did I read that somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think
it's funny.
you take a medicine really
Yeah,
fast. Mm.
yeah. I was able to get over it very, very quickly. But then I persevered as well, just like you did. But I think I was in the middle of asking Harold, do you have any opinions or any advice for somebody who suffers from depression when they're living in another country, or even when they're not? How do you think they can get over depression?
Well, I have never been in the. I have never felt depression, and I
Mm-hmm.
have never been in abroad a lot of time. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that now is easier than before because you can be in contact with your family through Facebook, WhatsApp, so you
Mm-hmm.
can talk with them a lot of time. And
Mm-hmm.
before you couldn't do that because there wasn't devices like we have now. So
Yeah.
I think you can't use those devices and you can feel better. That's
Yes.
one advice.
Yeah. But one thing they say when it comes to homesickness is to be careful about that and to limit the amount of communication you have with your family to maybe once a week until you get until you get to the acceptance stage, because otherwise you could end up being depressed a lot. But that's a good idea, though. Um, but that's one thing that they say. All right. So tell me, um, Wellington,
Yes.
what do you suppose is is a way that someone would feel if they were adjusting to their new culture? How do you think that they would feel?
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
When they're in the adjustment stage of their of living in another country,
Yeah.
how do you think they feel?
Mm,
Any idea?
in a state of adjustment.
Yeah.
I think sometimes the people begin to see the things like normal,
Mhm.
like not no no not different, but a lot different. But I
Mhm.
think no, yes, normal.
Yeah, that's exactly. You're absolutely right. You start feeling like everything's normal, and then you start thinking of your past life as not normal. It's a very strange feeling.
Yeah.
So let's go through some of these questions. I just looked at the time and realized we won't get to these questions if not. So we have questions related to the text and other questions. Wellington, can you choose other questions? This question right here, and ask somebody in the class.
Okay. How do are you asked um, uh, to Mariam?
Mhm.
Um, if you move abroad, what would you miss most about your home country?
For sure, my family, but
Yes.
I think I will miss the fresh fruit, meat, and what else I will, and sometimes
Family.
my family. Fresh fruit, meat, and probably how people behave
Mhm.
Mm,
because we are used to be warm people. I don't know if you
Mhm.
say it like that.
Uh, yeah, in South America, you guys instead of saying warm, you can say we're very expressive.
Expressive, yeah, it's better.
Yeah, we're very expressive down in South America. Where in Northern Europe, they're cold.
Like the weather.
Yeah, cold like the weather. Yeah. So okay, excellent. All right, Marianne, can you choose one of these questions to ask somebody?
Yeah, I would like to ask Ana Paula.
Yes.
What do you think about reverse culture shock? Do you think it exists? Exists?
Um, yes, I believe that the reverse culture shock exists. This happened with me, as I told before to Holly. And when I think we thank God, we have we are very able to adapt to different conditions, of course, to adapt to different country. So when you are adapted in a culture or in a condition, when you move them from them, yeah, the reverse culture shock it happened again.
Hmm. Yeah, because you have adapted to the one culture so well,
Yes.
and yeah, yeah, right. And so, Ana Paula, can you choose one of those questions and ask either Harold, Sergio, Carvalho, or Wellington?
Okay, I'd like to choose Carvalho.
Okay.
Carvalho. Okay. Carvalho, do you think you would preserve if you persevere if you had culture shock, or would you go home? Explain your answer.
I'm not used to giving up, so I think I would persevere if I had culture shock. It's my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not choosing to giving something up.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
prefer to stay even suffering.
Mhm. Yeah. I know that when I was in Korea, and after about 10 months, I met a lady who knew me in the beginning, and she was actually very shocked that I was still there. So,
It's
Uh-huh.
the best thing to do, in my opinion.
it
You
is.
can learn a
Hmm.
lot of things about
Absolutely.
life.
Absolutely. So, all right, Carvajal, can you choose one of these questions
Okay,
and ask Harold, Sergio, or
teacher,
Wellington?
can
Yes,
can I repeat you some question?
absolutely, because there's only a few questions. So,
Okay, I would, Sergio, if you moved abroad, what would you miss most about your home country?
Well, I think and I'm sure that first of all, my family, my friends, and depend on the country I move to. Probably the temperature.
depending, yeah, that temperature is really important
Yeah.
depending on where you go. So, yeah, okay. Sergio, could you ask Harold or Wellington?
Okay. For Harold. Mm, okay. Do you think you would persevere if you had cultural shock, or would you go home? Explain
Well,
twice your answer, please.
well, I will persevere, and I think that I will persevere because if I am there, there are some reasons. So if I am there because I am working there, I have to stay there. If there are another reason, I will maybe think about it. But the reason is work. I ensure that I will stay there and persevere to try to accept it.
All right, thank you. All right, Harold, could you choose one of these questions and ask Wellington?
Okay. Wellington, what do you think about reverse culture shock? Do you think it exists?
Um, I think yes, exists. Maybe when the travel is short, I think we feel this because sometimes we see different things, good things in the other country, and when we come back to our sometimes we begin ask why this, why that, and uh, uh, no, and of course, like it was said, we uh, we were um, we were uh, sorry, the we were living there, and that life was
Mm-hmm.
became
Mm-hmm.
normal because
Yeah,
this.
yeah, and I mean, it is really there. I had an uncle who said he had been in China for 1 year, and he said he would not experience it. And he told me later, "Oh, Holly, you were so right." So, so anyway, I want to thank you all for your perseverance, especially Sergio, and also for waiting when I had my equipment failure. And I hope you guys learned some new words and phrases. And Have a wonderful evening, everyone. And Marianne, go to bed.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
See you
Bye.
soon. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye. Thank you.